and biotechnology, just like Assistant Professor Resi Mariano. No? So his research expertise or research areas are on food nutrient analysis, recipe standardization, product development, on bioactive dietary components, and in vitro and in vivo studies on obesity, and also on metabolic disorders and research topics on IYCF, FNS, and MCHN. So Assistant Professor Paul can actually serve as a member of our MS and MPS graduate programs. Here are some of the publications of Assistant Professor Paul. So he conducted a study on pill pectin supplementation as biomarkers to improve biomarkers of obesity. He also conducted a research on anti-obesity compound and on relationship of personal hygiene score with sex, nutritional status, morbidity, and academic grades. So this is just some of yung publications of Assistant Professor Bagabaldo. So next we have Assistant Professor Von Ryan Ebron. He is an MM Business Management graduate. Area of specialization is culinary arts, entrepreneurship, restaurant operations, and management. So his research areas are on food product and recipe development, sensory evaluation, restaurant operation, and management. So recent publication of Assistant Professor Ebron is on perceptions and readiness of food service establishment during COVID-19 or during the onset of the pandemic in Metro Manila and Region 4A. Now, Assistant Professor Ebron can serve as a member of the MS Guidance Committee. Next, we have Assistant Professor Ann Cayetano. She is applied nutrition graduate, minor in genetics, and her area of specialization is food and nutrition. She is very much interested in conducting studies in vivo, toxicity studies, food and nutrient analysis, nutrition in emergencies, nutrition intervention studies, nutrition education, and dietary supplementation. So I think we have some listings of her recent publications. Next slide. So recent publications of Assistant Professor Cayetano is actually on nutritional and phytochemical content of freeze-dried fruits like bignay, also on subacute oral toxicity, evaluation of bignay, and ano pa ba? What else? So subacute oral toxicity evaluation of Philippine bignays, different varieties, and relationship of personal hygiene score with sex, nutritional status, morbidity, and academic grades among primary grade school children. So next faculty to be introduced, we have Assistant Professor Maria Jeannie Firtudaso. So Ma'am Jeannie or Ma'am Firtudaso is actually a Master of Public Health graduate of UP Manila. Her area of specialization is hospital dietetics, clinical nutrition, and diabetes education. So she is very much, in terms of research, she is inclined to conduct research on pediatric nutrition, pediatric and adult diabetes management, nutrition counseling, utilization of locally available pediatric formulas, and nutrition modules for schools for chronically ill children. So I think that's our last graduate faculty. Am I correct? We have, of course, we have Dr. Laila Africa. She is a PhD community nutrition graduate from Indonesia. Her area of specialization is community nutrition. And she is also very much into validation of research instruments, no, evaluation of nutrition programs, food and nutrition security assessment, and growth monitoring and data quality check. Now, Dr. Africa can serve as chair and member of all IHNF graduate programs, PhD, MPS, MS. And then we have some of the publications of Dr. Africa. So as you can see here, together with Dr. Talavera, Dr. Juanico, Dr. Tandang, Dr. D, they had a nutrition-sensitive agriculture publication. They have a study on stunting and zinc deficiency among 3 to 5 years old children. They also had a study on field trials of LNP and program monitoring and evaluation protocols in the Philippines. Also study on factors associated with stunting, and another one on health, nutrition, and treatment compliance of people living with AIDS. And then we have Dr. Normahita Gordoncillo. So she is a PhD graduate, PhD Human Nutrition graduate. Her area of specialization is clinical nutrition. Research areas are on nutrition and diabetes, nutrition counseling, post-disaster, rapid nutritional assessment, CAP on sodium-restricted diet, and food and nutrition security assessment. Early childhood development as well, and on micronutrient supplementation and impact assessment of nutrition programs. So Dr. Gordoncillo can actually serve as chair and member of our graduate programs in IHNF. I think that's it. So here are the listing of recent publications of Dr. Gordoncillo on community-led central kitchen models for school feeding, on stunting and zinc deficiency among children 3 to 5, multi-level pathways of rural and urban poverty as determinants of childhood undernutrition, and publication on acceptability of height measuring equipment of different materials among community nutrition and health workers and parents in Laguna. And also on comparison of height measurement instruments for children used in two different municipalities of Laguna. So I think that's all for all our faculty members. Did I miss anybody? Graduate faculty on study leave, we have the following. So unfortunately, they are not available at the moment, but we also would like to introduce them. On study leave, we have Assistant Professor Sheila Abacan. So she is taking her PhD in US to be back maybe in 2 or 3 years. If you're still here, you can actually still ask her to be member of your program. But hopefully you're already graduate by 2 to 3 years, no? Anyway, another graduate faculty on study leave is Assistant Professor Joyce Parco. She's taking her PhD in public health also in UP Manila. Another faculty on study leave, we have Assistant Professor Jemima Evangelista. She is taking her PhD in Austria, and she will also be back just like Assistant Professor Parco and Abacan in 2 or 3 years time. Siguro mga 20, maybe they'll be back by 2026. And then we have Assistant Professor Divine Grace Domingo. She is also taking her PhD in Taiwan, and her specialization is also on food and nutrition. So we are hoping that they will be back in the coming years. And then this one, Assistant Professor Ana Lorraine de la Vega, she'll be coming back by next semester. And she is almost through with her PhD in human nutrition. Her area of specialization is community development. So you can ask her by next year. In the coming semesters, you can ask her to be a member of your graduate committee if you're interested. So I think that's all. Any more?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much po, Dr.
Thank
Berrio.
you, ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am Cayetano.
Thank you, ma'am. So, students, have you created a list of your possible thesis advisors or committee members? Meron na bang mga napili? So,
Ma'am Ann, oo, Ma'am Ann, let's not forget to share. I think I've read do sa chat, they would like to have access on the backgrounds of our graduate faculty members so that they can check during their convenient time whom to approach. So we will just share.
yes, ma'am. And actually po, those details of our faculty members are also available on our official website. That's www.ihnf.uplb.edu.ph. Ayan. So we hope that the presentation will be helpful for you to choose from a diverse set of faculty. So choose whoever has the same research interests as you. Okay, so please join this very short Kamustahan session by opening your browsers and going to www.menti.com and enter the code 72366049, or you can simply scan the QR code here that you are seeing on your screens. Okay, so you don't need to sign up or log in, just enter the code 72366049. Can you please thumbs up if you have already entered the Menti? Okay, Miss Michelle, Miss Barbara. Okay, so we have 5. Let's wait for a few more minutes for the others to join. Right? So for our first question, just a reminder, there are no right or wrong answers here. Just write the first thing that comes to your mind. All right? So for the first question, how is your current experience with your degree program? Please write down 3 things that come to your mind. Okay, for those who were not able to join the Menti, you can also chat your answers via our Zoom. So Miss Christine De Mesa said overwhelming, exciting, and tiring. Okay, in our Menti, we have the most dominant would be exciting, overwhelming, challenging, happy. Okay, informative, difficult, panic. Maybe someone would like to elaborate on these answers. Just raise your hand. Deadlines, educational, refreshing, motivated. Okay, collaboration, insightful, lots of reading, yes. Fun. Do we have a volunteer to share their experiences? Just a brief sharing. Anyone? Are you still shy, everyone? Shy to share your experiences? So maybe you're excited with your degree program. You're also being challenged right now because there's a lot of readings, as you said here. It's challenging, but at the same time, it's very interesting. Okay, you have done a lot of collaboration. You are motivated, somewhat overwhelmed. Okay, because of deadlines. Okay. So For the next question, what are the challenges in your degree program that you would like to be addressed? Please do take note that if you have questions, it would be answered at the latter part of our program. So we have a time for an open forum, but you can also send it here through this Menti. Okay, let's see the answers. And Miss Demesa said, time frame, too much, too soon. So maybe you're struggling with the deadlines. Okay, we will take note of that. Still deadlines, limited time for discussion. Okay, what else? I would like to have more individual projects done by group. Okay. Anything more? Maybe our co-chairs of GPMC can help us address these challenges. So please feel free to join me in this discussion. What's this one? Deadlines also. All right. Identifying reading to prioritize, the time frame, the enrollment process, or the plan of study. Okay, maybe these are yung deadlines, the limited time for discussion, the time frame, and the reading materials. All of that can be addressed by course, no, by your respective courses. Just tell your instructors. And then, but for this enrollment process or plan of study, can you please state the specific challenge that you have encountered? Sino po ba ito? If that would be okay for you to share, pwede pong sa chat lang din. Okay, so according to Ma'am Isa, to address your concerns on the more individual projects done by group, no? So for MCN, group activities are encouraged and preferred to foster collaboration among the team. Practice na ito sa actual setting where we work as part of the medical team. Okay, so most of the activities in the MCN courses are actually are indirectly targeting to foster the collaboration or the communication between the healthcare team. So we are actually hoping that you can learn how to communicate more, how to look for more evidence-based practices, and also to be more familiar with the experiences of your other group members. Okay? Hoping that the courses for the degree program will still be offered via distance learning for the coming semesters. So, sino po kaya ang pwedeng sumagot nito? Baka ito po ay MCN din because I think only MCN program is being offered online. Tama po ba? Ayan. So according to our co-chair for GPMC of MCN, we only depend on the memo released by the UPLB regarding mode of delivery. So if UPLB will release a memo that will require us to teach for fully face-to-face, we have to comply to that. So as of now, no memo pa regarding that. Okay? Ito po kaya, ano kayang nagkaroon ng problem? Sa SAI, sa AMIS, um, sa plan of study, sa forms po ba ito? If nahihiya, you can chat directly or privately instead of everyone.
Ma'am Ann,
Yes, ma'am.
may I share kasi may mga concerns kami sa MCN students kasi mga new students sila. So some of the problems pertaining to enrollment include yung late na release ng kanilang UP mail. So hindi sila makapasok sa Canvas, hindi sila makapasok sa SAIS. And then I don't know about plan of study, baka may delay sa pag-sign for the recommended courses kasi requirement yun for registration. But ang advice natin is to communicate fast, no, with the GPMC, with the GS Admissions Office, with your advisor, at pag nag-reply sila, reply din kayo po agad, no, para mabilis po, at kasi ang one day na delay really have significant impact, no, sa inyong enrollment. Thank you, Ma'am Ann.
Thank you po for that information, Ma'am Aiza. And also, Dr. Barrion mentioned in the Zoom chat that for plan of studies, you may want to visit us in person from time to time for clarification and assistance to your concerns. So I think it's still better to communicate in person, no, with your advisors or temporary advisors to help you plan your courses.
Yes, Ma'am Ann. I would like to encourage our graduate student to visit us from time to time so that we can personally talk to you and explain in details, because it's really sometimes difficult still, no, where we apologize, but we are really getting tsunami loads of emails still. So sometimes we get to miss out some of your emails or your communication. So if you have time, and if you are nearby, maybe you can visit us once in a while so that we can actually assist you and clarify, verify some things and get to know you, because it's really still very much, I think for me, nicer if we talk face to face, no? But from time to time only if it's possible as well, so that you can also see the facilities, get to know other faculty members, see your classmates, maybe they're around the campus, no? So I invite our graduate students to visit our office and talk to us personally if possible. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you po on that. And also, you may want to visit the new oblation statue. Isabay niyo na rin po sa inyong pagbibisita. Ayan, minsan daw po ay nakakaligaw pumunta ng Insti, Ma'am Barya. Baka nalimutan na po kung nasaan ang ating building.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice you go back to our institute for the alumni, si Michelle, no? So we miss you, and we also we love talking to our students personally. I think you will have that experience if you go visit our office. We have so many things to talk about, and not only your concerns issue, maybe we can help in other concerns of yours if we see you face to face, because believe it or not, sometimes or most of the time it's really hard to communicate through email and even chat, no? It's still, I think, I love personally talking to my students, no? So please visit us from time to time, and you can see the changes for the alumni. You see a lot of changes that happens inside the campus and within our unit. So feel free to visit us.
Yes,
Thank you,
bago
Miss
din po ang
Ann.
bioassay. No po, ma'am.
Oh, there are so many construction going on.
Ayan. So thank you so much po, Ma'am Baryon. Any more concerns from our students? Is there anyone who would like to share verbally? Just unmute your microphone.
Yes, if you have any pressing question, might as well let's discuss it so that other students may also hear responses, because they might have the same problem or issue, so that we can talk about it or later.
I think nahihiya pa po sila. So maybe let's give them more time to reflect and to to build the courage to ask their questions. But again, if you are shy to send it to everyone, you can just directly message the faculty concerned, or who would you be comfortable to ask, okay? So we'll be waiting for your questions and more inputs later. But for now, let's move on to our next part of the program. So thank you so much to those who joined us in the Kamustahan. Now, going back to our program, let us give the virtual floor to the assistant to the director and also the co-chair of the GPMC for PhD, Dr. Lizelle Atienza, to discuss admissions, advising, and comprehensive examination. Ma'am Lizelle, please take it away po.
Good evening, everyone. Medyo evening na sa akin dito at very dim. Okay, I'll try to open muna the light. Okay, so can I share my screen? Again, welcome to our students, new students of IHNF Graduate School. Kumusta kayo? Sabi nga kanina ni Ma'am Ann ay sana you are all doing well. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and feelings about being a student of IHNF and graduate school. So today I'm going to share with you some reminders and requirements, no, now that you are officially our students, no, our graduate students. Okay. So just to give you a background of how your admission was processed, first, you lodge your application, di ba, through the website of the graduate school, and then the graduate school forwarded your application to us. So the IHNF graduate faculty, specifically the Graduate Program Management Committee, are the ones who evaluated your application for admission. Most of you were accepted as regular student, meaning you passed the grade requirement for the degree program that you applied for. And then some were admitted on probationary basis, meaning they did not meet the required grade for the degree program you applied or they applied. And so they must enroll and pass 9 units of core or major courses. Okay? So dapat the average should be 2 or better in order to change the status to regular students. Okay? So if you are one of the students who were admitted on probationary status, you need to submit a request for extension of probationary status if you will not be able to um, take or enroll and pass the 9 units core or major courses required by the graduate school so that you can change your status from Pro B to regular standing or regular student. So just make sure that you'll be able to complete this requirement as early as possible. If you can complete it during the first or second semester of your residency, better, because the graduate school will allow you to complete this requirement for up to 3 semesters only. Okay, for a maximum of 3 semesters only. And if you need to if you need to extend your status on probationary basis because you fail to um, complete the requirement, you need to submit a letter of request for extension noted by your advisor or endorsed by your advisor and the IHNF director to the dean of the graduate school through the GS secretary. And then admitted students were assigned to temporary enrollment advisor or registration advisor. So, na-meet nyo na ba sila? Nakita nyo ba kanina kung hindi kayo in person or face-to-face attending classes if online like MCN? Nakita nyo na ba or na-meet nyo na virtually today ang inyong registration advisor? So, ang registration advisor or temporary advisor are the ones who take care of the enrollment needs, no? For first time or first time enrollment only. Ayan. I mean this they will only they their service is ano lang during the first during the enrollment, okay? So they help you. Did they help you come up with the list of courses that you needed to enroll, no, for this SEM? So iyon yung role nila. Okay? And then ito yung requirement. So number 1 is plan of study. Ang the graduate school, no, rule is that you should submit the plan of study on the first semester of enrollment or residency. Okay, meaning you need to submit your plan of study this semester. Okay, and in order to formulate your plan of study, you need to have your advisor. Okay, you need to look for a professor, no, from your major field, from nutrition, no, who can help you select the members of your guidance or advisory committee. And they will be the one to help you formulate your plan of study. So for the process, the IHNF director receives a recommendation from the plan of study from the advisory or guidance committee. Okay. And then the director will forward it to the dean of the graduate school for approval. And then who will serve as members or of your who will consist the guidance or advisory committee? For the Master in Clinical Nutrition, Masters of Professional Studies for Food and Nutrition Planning, and Masters of Science in Applied Nutrition students, you need to have 3 to 4 members. For PhD students, you need to have 4 to 5 members, including the chair and the co-chair. Okay? And the chair and other members should represent the major field. They should be faculty of the Institute of Human Nutrition and Food. And you can also nominate a co-chair, but it will depend on your discussion or agreement with your chair. So lagi kayong magko-consult sa chair nyo before you make the decision. Okay? And then you need to have a member coming from the minor or supportive field. Or ito yung tinatawag na cognate, no? Di ba? Meron kayong mga cognate courses. So pipili kayo ng faculty member from that institute or department who can help you in your thesis or dissertation. Okay. So another requirement is examination. For the Master in Clinical Nutrition, you have general comprehensive examination, oral, no, delivered orally. Okay. And then for MPS Food and Nutrition Planning, okay, meron kayong final examination, oral and written. And then for the Master of Science in Applied Nutrition, you have 2, the General Comprehensive Examination oral and the final examination. Okay, and then for PhD, there are 3, the qualifying examination done orally, then the comprehensive examination in written and oral form, and then the final examination. For the Master in Clinical Nutrition and MS Applied Nutrition, okay, the purpose of the General Oral Comprehensive Examination is to determine appreciation of the courses taken and your ability to integrate all of your learnings, no, from these courses. And this is conducted every year. So the schedule will depend on you and your advisory or guidance committee. Okay, and then the requirements for oral comprehensive examination. One is you should have completed your courses with a general weighted average of 2 or better. Okay, you should request a copy, no, of your grades with GWA from the graduate school. Okay, and then present it to your advisor and the members of the committee. And then you should be enrolled. No, you cannot take the examination or apply for this examination if you are not enrolled. And then you should have approved application form to take the examination not a month before the exam date. So, ang application for this examination must be done a month earlier, no? So, you need to give an allowance, no? Provide an allowance for this application. Okay? And then what will happen if you fail the exam? The good news is you can retake the exam. Okay? And what will happen if you fail again? Then you will be disqualified, no? From earning the degree or any graduate degree in the university. Ayan. So, what about the final examination? Ano ba yung final examination? This is done, no? After you have completed your thesis. So, what happens here is that it will be done orally and then in front of your guidance committee. Then the purpose is to test your ability to defend your thesis. And this is also, this serves as an avenue for where your committee members can suggest on how to further improve your manuscript. And then to pass this examination, you must receive not more than one negative vote, no, from your committee. So if you fail, you may apply for a examination, of course, depending on the decision of the your guidance committee. For the MPS, so you have final examination, oral and written. Okay. And the purpose is to test your ability to integrate the learnings you gathered from your major and minor fields. Of course, you should have completed all your courses with a GWA of 2 or better. Okay, you should also be presently enrolled. Okay, you should submit a copy of your Form 5 as proof. And then you should have approved application form to take the examination. Okay, that is submitted not later than 1 month before the exam date. Okay, so you have the link here where you can access the forms, the e-forms. And then for PhD students, you have qualifying examination done orally. Only though the regular PhD students can have the qualifying examination, okay, during the first semester of residency. Yan. So this serves as the basis for evaluating the student's ability to pursue doctoral study and for determining a suitable program of coursework. So, kailan gagawin ito? Ang qualifying examination is done towards the end of the first semester. So dito makaka-come up ng plan of study wherein identified na ang mga cognate courses, no? From or based on the suggestions of the committee member from the minor field. And then ang form is also accessible, no, online through this link or through the UPLB graduate school website. Okay, and then for the comprehensive examination, no, for PhD students, they have oral and written. Ayan. So ability again to integrate all the learnings, no, mga basic concepts, and then integration, application of the concepts, no, from all of the courses taken. And then kailangan completed na ang courses or with a GWA of 2 or better, no, with the true copy of grades with GWA as proof. And then presently enrolled dapat ang student. So the proof is a copy of Form 5. And then meron siyang approved application form to take the examination, which is submitted not later than 1 month before the exam date. For the PhD final examination, similar with the master's final examination, the output of the um, dissertation is presented, no, to the advisory committee. Okay? And ito nga, i-defend ng estudyante yung findings ng kanyang study, and then it will provide an avenue, no, where the committee member can suggest, no, the points for improvement, no, on the manuscript. And then to pass the examination, kailangan not more than one of the committee members give one negative vote. And if you fail, or if the student fail, she or he can take the re-examination. Again, the schedule will depend on the committee, no, the advisor and the committee members, and of course with in mutual agreement with the student. Another requirement is the ethics clearance. Okay, for studies that involve humans. So if later on you decide to have a thesis or dissertation that involve humans, you need to submit or you need to have an ethics clearance. So I'd like to refer you to this website, no, where you can access more information about the process, the forms, as well as the procedures and the deadlines, no? So please visit this website, okay, for more information about this requirement. And then another requirement is the public presentation of thesis or dissertation. Okay, so before, we do not have this requirement, but starting last semester, no, this is already part of the program requirements, no? So there is this GS policy rules and regulation, no, in chapter 2 section 10, wherein the student shall be given by his or her final examination panel an oral examination which will be opened to the public. The graduate school shall publicize the schedule and place of the oral examination. At IHNF, the public presentation is conducted after the final defense, no, with the guidance or advisory committee. And then the invitation or advertisement of the public presentation is posted, no, or disseminated through the IHNF Facebook page. Another requirement is the external review of thesis and dissertation. Currently, the guidelines for this are under review, no, at the graduate school level. So I cannot discuss the details yet. Okay. And there are forms to fill up, of course, no? So these are the forms that you need to fill up. Para sa process, no, for us to track your progress, no, we as members of the graduate program management committee that monitors the progress of our graduate students, you need to you need to send us first, no, the document for our signature. Later on, mamimit nyo kung sino ba ang member or sino ang co-chair, no, of the graduate program management committee for your degree program. Okay? So, ang kailangan gawin is before asking the director, no, to sign the form, you need to send us first the document, then we will sign. Okay? And then forward it to the IHNF director for signature. Okay? And then after masignan ng Dean of the Graduate School, please provide us a copy, no? A copy of the signed form so we can keep a record of that and track your progress. Ayan. Then there are also forms to fill up, no? Or to accomplish for the examinations, for the thesis, and for the graduation. For other reminders, ang grade that you can get from your courses can range from 1 as the highest grade to 5, the lowest, no? And you should have a GWA, okay, of 2 or better. And then for those who will enroll UMET 290 special problem, the faculty in charge is your chair, no? The chair of your guidance or advisory committee. Although this is not mandatory, but um, suggested, okay, or preferred. And then the comprehensive exam is usually scheduled before the thesis, but according to the graduate school guidelines, once you have already enrolled and passed 12 units of your coursework, then you can already start enroll or start with your thesis outline. Pero of course, you need to consult it first with your advisor. Okay. And the usual question is, can you change your advisor or member of the committee? Yes, no? You have the right as the student to change your advisor or member of the committee. Okay? And then can you have co-advisor? Yes, no? Based on experience, kailangan nagko-complement no yung expertise ng advisor and co-advisor. Okay? Kumbaga, something that will fill up or yung missed parang skills ba yan? Or depende sa usap nyo, no? Basta always consult your advisor before asking a faculty member to be your co-advisor. Okay? Kasi malaki din ang role ng co-advisor. Okay? And then regularly consult with your advisor, our guidance committee chair. Ayan. So, alamin nyo, please, consult them, know their contact details, no? Magpakilala kayo and build a healthy relationship, no, with your advisor and committee members. And then have your plan of study, nomination, no, this semester, or nomination of guidance or advisory committee this first semester. And then submit your documents. No, all documents or communication to the graduate school must be submitted through this website, no, through their system. Ito ay ano ba to? Dissemination something. Hindi ko ma-spell out ang ODSS, but you can just key in no yung ODSSUPLB and maibibigay niya yung link no where you need to submit the documents. So these are the references, no? So I think meron kayong mga questions, no? So we'll have an open forum later. Okay? So please do not hesitate to ask, no? Kung meron kayong mga parang questions related to these requirements and reminders. Okay, over to you, Ma'am Ann.
Thank you po, Ma'am Lizelle. So to our dear graduate students, again, please do know that we are taking note of the questions that are being sent through the Zoom chat box. So feel free to send us your questions and we'll answer them later during the open forum. Okay? And actually, we will go back with Ma'am Lizelle because now Ma'am Lizelle will be talking more about the program description, pathways, and requirements of the PhD in Human Nutrition. Back to you, ma'am.
Thank you again, Ma'am Ann. Ayan, sige, move tayo here, no? So I think we have one new PhD student and I think she's not around. Okay? So for everybody's information, especially our new students, no? Baka eventually, maisip niyong mag-enroll ng PhD Human Nutrition. So, discuss natin shortly, no? What are the important information that you need to know about this program. Okay. So, brief description of the program. So, this degree program envisions to provide students with knowledge and skills to enable them to explain recent trends in nutrition science, plan, conduct, and evaluate basic and applied nutrition research. Okay? So, sabi dito, with an orientation highlighting the importance of incorporating nutrition in agriculture and rural development, students will be able to critically analyze food and nutrition problems and alternative solutions, as well as design projects and programs and recommend policy options for nutrition improvement. Ayan. So, sino ba ang pwedeng mag-enroll ng PhD Human Nutrition? Those who have nutrition background are highly welcome. But for those who do not have nutrition background, of course, they will be required to take extra courses, no? Or yung mga prerequisites before enrolling the major, core, and cognate courses. Okay? So, yung mga MPS students natin, MSAN students, as well as MCN students, when you after you graduate, no, at maisip nyo to apply, feel free to apply, no, in this program. So, what are the requirements? You need to enroll and pass a minimum of 42 units. So, out of the 42 units, 12 units are core courses. So, these are IHNF 211. IHNF 211 is food and culture. IHNF 221 is biochemical aspects of human nutrition. IHNF 224 is nutrition epidemiology, and ENS 270 is a course offered by CESAM on environmental science. And then 9 units of major courses. So you can choose 3 courses from the following courses: IHNF 222, IHNF 223, IHNF 251, IHNF 252, IHNF 254, IHNF 255, UME 290, UME 291, ECO 261. And then 9 units of cognate courses. So where can you select, no? These cognate courses from the departments or institute or colleges that offers uh, the field, no, or the following areas: agriculture, agronomy, horticulture, animal and veterinary sciences, genetics, environmental sciences, food science, extension education, communication, statistics, economics, sociology, anthropology, and community development. Kung may naisip pa kayo ibang field, no, pwede nyo namang itanong sa amin later on, no? But of course, if not aligned with areas, no, na or fields close with nutrition, then you will be required to take extra courses. For the proposed plan of study for regular students, so in the first semester, you should enroll the core courses, the 3 core courses that are offered during first semester, and 1 major course for a total of 12 units. On the second semester, sorry. Okay, correction dito. Itong qualifying exam, since required na ng graduate school to have the qualifying exam and plan of study, no? In the first semester of residency, then qualifying examination should be conducted, no, on the first semester. Okay? And ito ay towards the end of the semester. Okay? Para nagkaroon na ng idea, no, yung student about nutrition, no, from these courses. Okay, and then on the second semester, okay, enroll IHNF 211, then 2 major courses and 1 cognate course for a total of 12 units. Okay, in year 2, okay, first semester, 2 cognate courses and 3 units, no? Pwede nang um, mag ilan na ba ang major courses natin? 3? Ayan. So, pwedeng actually this is the suggested plan of study, no? Pero pwede nang mag-enroll ng thesis here kung gusto, kung naka 12 units na, okay? Based on the graduate school, policies. Okay? And comprehensive examination, no, is conducted after the student have passed and completed all the coursework, no, or the coursework. So, pwede na mag-comprehensive examination done orally and written. And then, UME 400 for the dissertation, no, pwedeng tagpo 4 yan. 4 units, and then the succeeding semesters are also 4 units. So, ang total dapat nito is 42. Minimum of 42 because for some students, meron pang mga sinasuggest na i-take na extra courses. Okay? Ayan. So, yun lang pala, no, for the PhD Human Nutrition. And I think wala tayo ngayong student, no, na, hindi naka-attend today ang ating PhD student, new PhD student. So, back to you, Ma'am Ann. Thank you so much.
Thank you po, Ma'am Lizelle. So now let's go to the program description, pathways, and requirements for the MS Applied Nutrition Program. And with that, let us welcome again the co-chair of the GPMC for MSAN, Sir Paul Bagabaldo.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Ann. Okay. So for this part of the session, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the degree program, MS in Applied Nutrition. So MS Applied Nutrition is a 31-unit graduate program which may be completed in 2 years by full-time students. So the curriculum includes several coursework, electives, and theses, research through laboratory or fieldwork in a variety of areas relevant to human nutrition. MS Applied Nutrition was designed to broaden students' perspective and increase the effectiveness in the application of scientific knowledge to the solution of nutritional problems in families and communities. Graduates from this program turn out to be passionate leaders that serve diverse set of people and contribute in solving the food and health issues in local and global settings. So next slide, please. So I just want to reiterate that upon admission, a graduate student may be assigned to either of these status, probationary or regular, depending on their academic performance and back record. So probationary, if the academic records and supporting documents indicate deficiencies that show promise of success in graduate study. So they must meet specific requirements. For regular academic records and supporting documents indicate that he or she is qualified to undertake the graduate study. So this status is very important to determine the actual requirements you need to accomplish in order to earn the degree. So later on, you will know why this is very important. So this status can be found in your notice of admission or NUPA together with the requirement or specific requirements to meet to lift your probationary status. Next slide, please. So for the requirements, some of these are were already discussed by Dr. Giselle. So first one is the nomination of guidance committee and plan of study. So this is first semester of enrollment. Next, you also need to accomplish your thesis outline, especially if you're doing write or start your thesis or MS thesis. Ideally, third semester of enrollment. General examination or the comprehensive examination. Ideally, third semester of enrollment also before you start your thesis. Next, your final examination, and according to the latest GS policies and guidelines, they might require next semester an external review proceeding together with the guidance committee. So this is also the public thesis presentation. So this is ideally done fourth semester of enrollment or the last semester. Then for the final manuscript and one article in publishable form, this is also a requirement for you to finish the degree. So this is after the external review and ideally before the semester or fourth semester, before the end of the fourth semester of enrollment. And then finally, after completion of all requirements, you can now apply for graduation. So next slide, please. So for the courses, so I mentioned earlier, this is a 31 unit degree program. 12 units will be coming from the core courses, 3 units from the supportive courses, 9 units from the minor or what we call the cognate, 1 unit seminar, and 6 units for the thesis. So these are the actual courses under each of the types. So for the core, we have IHNF 222, 223, 251, 290, and or 291. For the supportive, so as you can see, I highlighted here in blue, IHNF 121 and 123, since these courses are 100 level courses. So this cannot be credited to your graduate degree, but they will be required for you to take in case you may need them, especially for those with probationary status. So IHNF 211, IHNF 221, 224, 225, 252, 253, 254 are also supportive persons. So before I proceed, Maman, can we acknowledge or can we entertain the questions? Maybe I think someone is raising.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Miss Celica.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Since you have mentioned these courses, I would just like to clarify. During enrollment, my temporary advisor is Professor Irma Danao. Onset, this is actually my second semester already. I mentioned that it is my intention to apply for clinical nutrition because I work in the hospital. However, it was not offered at that time, which was the previous semester. Apologies for the noise. So I then asked if I can have the clinical nutrition as a cognate since I'm interested to take the courses for the program. And she affirmed that it is possible. So I would just like to ask that now. Actually, I on the previous semester, I took development communication as my cognate. I intend to change my cognate to clinical nutrition. So just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Yes, Miss Celica, I think that's already okay to transfer your to shift your cognate from DevCom to clinical nutrition. So we just need to choose 3 courses or total of 9 units courses from the MCN list of courses. Together, of course, with your advisor and members of the guidance committee. So I wasn't able to place here clinical nutrition and other related fields since there are a lot of fields you can choose from. It include also genetics and other types of related fields. You may want to explore statistics. You can also explore statistics as your hobby. For seminar, that's UB 299. For the thesis, it depends on your research interest. So on food, nutrition, dietetics, and health interventions and strategies. So by the way, HNF 224 is highlighted since these are this course is only for regular students. So if you have probationary status, then you cannot take yet HNF 224. So next slide, please. So in this slide, I think I just placed here the course details in case you may want to check the other details of each of the courses I presented. So as you can see, we have the course number and the course title. We have the number of units, the prerequisites, and the semester offer. So please take note that the semestral offering is really important for you to include in your planning, since this might really a problem if you weren't able to plan accordingly each of the courses to take every sem, since there are semesters wherein this course is not being offered, so you will not be able to finish on time if that's the case. So in here we have most of the courses are being offered only once per year. So either first or second semester, except for HNF 251, Ecology of Food and Nutrition, which is offered in first and second semesters. And for the prerequisites, most of the prerequisites for all of these courses, I think is COI or consent of instructor, except for HNF 123, which is HNF 122 if you are international. So next slide, please. So now for probationary status, these are students with, I think, less than 2.5 GWA. So if you have probationary status, you can only enroll a maximum of 9 units, and you should have a GWA of 2 after that semester to lift your probationary status. So the other guidelines here is that you can only take these 9 units, you can only take major courses or HNF major courses. You cannot take any cognate courses. And the student can request for an extension of his or her probationary status provided with valid reasons. So ideally, you can lift your probationary status within 1 semester. Since you can take maximum of 9 units in that semester, you can already lift your probationary status if you pass all your major courses with a GWA of 2 or better. But if not, you can request for an extension with valid reasons. So if an applicant is not a BS Nutrition or BS Nutrition and Dietetics graduate, then he or she is automatically under probationary status. So he or she must take advanced human nutrition, HNF 121, and nutritional assessment, HNF 1. Next slide, please. So here are sample pathways that you may want to explore when planning your plan of study together with your advisors and guidance committee. So we have option 1 and option 2 on this slide. Option 1 and 2 is both for regular students, and 3 is first semester and full-time. So as you can see, you can take maximum of 12 units per semester if you are a regular student. And then the only difference between option 1 and option 2 is that I simulated that you're going to take your supportive course on option 1 during the first semester, while for option 2, you're going to take your supportive course during the second semester, since there are courses that being offered only during first and second semester. So ito yung examples sa ilalim. So HNF 221, 224, 225, 2544 first semester, and HNF 211, 252, 2534 second semester. So make sure to plan really well depending on your chosen supportive course. Okay, so next slide, please. So other options, we have option number 3. If ever you're going to enter second semester full-time again. So this time, since you're going to enter second semester, you will be starting with HNF 222 and 251. And then, of course, your supportive course and your cognate courses. And so on and so on. Okay, so take note. Okay, so take note that for the third semester, you should be ideally doing your comprehensive examination before your thesis outline. Okay, so next slide, please. Then we're going to proceed with options 4 and 5, which is for probationary status or students with probationary status. So as you can see here, the only difference between option 4 and 5 is the semester of entry. Yes, first and second semester. So the probationary student is a BSN graduate. So as you can see, since since this student, for example, is under probationary status, he or she was advised to take HNF 121. So that's why it's really important to know your status. So additional course. So as you can see here, since you're probationary, the maximum units that you can take is only 9 per semester until it's lifted, and then only major courses. So as you can see, for the first semester, only 9 units, and 3 units from the 9 is HNF 121. So meaning you still lack 3 more units of graduate course to lift your probationary status. Therefore, you need to take the remaining 3 units of graduate course the next semester. So you need an extension of your probationary status. Okay, then after second semester, fulfilling the GWA of 2 or better, so assuming third semester of enrollment, probationary status is already lifted. Therefore, you can take maximum 12 units again. Then you can take your minor courses already. But take note, in this example, I placed here that all the cognate courses can be taken for semester in this case is second semester. But make sure that these courses are being offered on that semester also. Okay, so it depends on the course that you're going to choose. Of course, with the guidance of your guidance. Next slide, please. So last sample pathways, we have options 6 and 7. This time, for probationary students, but for non-BSN or BSN graduate. So meaning you are not a graduate of nutrition discipline or profession. So only difference between 6 and 7 is the semester, the sem of entry, first and second semester. So if you are a non-BSN graduate, you need to take both HNF 121 and 123. So that means you can only credit 3 units during your first semester, then another 6 units next semester to lift your probationary status. Basically, the same for the rest of the semesters until you finish your thesis on your 5th semester of enrollment. Okay, so next slide, please. I think that's my last slide. Yes. So for other information, you may visit the GS-UPLB website, gs.uplb.edu.ph. So everything is there, including some of the parts we discussed in this Kamustahan. So if you have any questions, feel free to chat it in the chat box or raise your hand later. Thank you so much. Back to you, Ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sir Paul. So again, please feel free to ask your questions. Don't be shy now. We're already nearing the end of our program. So for the next program, MPS program on food and nutrition planning, let us give the floor to Dr. Angelina Bustos, the co-chair of the GPMC for the MPS FNP. So let's watch the video.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to present the Master of Professional Studies on Food and Nutrition Planning, or in short, we call this as MPS FNP. So the MPS FNP program is an advanced and interdisciplinary course integrating nutrition into the overall national socioeconomic development plans. The program was conceptualized in response to the felt need for trained cadre of human resource capable of integrating food and nutrition considerations into the overall development planning and programming strategies, and to address the complex food and nutrition problems in the Asian region or in the developing countries. The NPS FNP program used to welcome applicants or students who are already occupying mid-level to senior level positions in their respective institutions. But recently, we are also accepting, or we are also accommodating students who are planning to have this track on food and nutrition planning. For the course objectives, a graduate of MPS FNP should have the ability to identify food and nutrition problems and their implications within the broad context of national development, formulate plans integrating food and nutrition programs into the overall development strategies. Number 3, establish objectives and goals for nutrition improvement and set up priorities as well as program alternatives. Number 4, implement, evaluate, and monitor programs or projects. And lastly, bridge the gap between planning at the national, regional level and implementation at the village and or community level. Okay, before I discuss the program structure, okay, the MPS FNP program welcomes applicants or students who are in varied disciplines, since the course is really looking into multidisciplinary perspective. So it is not exclusive to nutrition nutrition disciplines only. So we also accept those with background on economics, agriculture, even communication. Medical doctors can also be accommodated for this, as long as their current employment or work experience is along food and nutrition planning, or has a future, anticipates that in the future work or research will be along food and nutrition planning and management. So a total of 44 units covers the MPS FNP program, wherein 20 units will be coming from core courses, 15 units from supportive courses, and 9 units for the elective courses. So it can be the course does not have a thesis, but you will be required to be engaged in field studies at the micro level and at the macro level, which I will be discussed later on. Then as an exit assessment, okay, a comprehensive exam, an oral comprehensive exam will be administered for graduating MPS FNP students. Okay, for the curricular path, ideally the program can be completed in 3 semesters and 1 mid-year. So if the student is on full-time basis, so as you can see from here, 13 units will be allotted for first sem and second sem, and then mid-year will be 6 units, and the last semester will be for 12 units. So let me go back a bit. So these are the courses that you can take. Okay, ideally, if you are a regular graduate student for MPS FNP. And please do note here that IHNF 121 or AgEcon 150 are prescribed electives. Okay, IHNF 121 should be taken by non-nutrition students, or those whose background is not nutrition or discipline. And AgEcon 150 will be taken as a prescribed elective for those who have nutrition as a discipline or as a background. Okay, so this will be for first sem, and then after completing the second semester with all these courses, then you are qualified to have the field studies, which is micro planning. So this will be a field practicum at the community level, wherein there is an immersion for about 5 to 6 weeks in the community. Okay, so this is HNF 298, and please take note that you cannot enroll for any other courses if you are enrolled in this subject, and it will be for 6 units. So this one is for the micro planning, and you will also be engaged to a macro planning field studies, which you can take, okay, in the second semester. Okay, so this is the UME 291, which is macro planning. Okay, so aside from the 2 prescribed electives, so you can select elective and additional 6 units for your elective. So you can choose elective 1 and elective 2. HNF 254 is not a prescribed elective, but at the moment, upon assessing, upon looking at the program, we are recommending that 254 will be part of your elective. Otherwise, you can select from other courses where you can take your electives from communication, from development management and governance. It can also be a nutrition course or statistics if you want, or it can also be a food science and technology. Okay, so that completes your 3 semesters and 1 mid-year for the 44 units for MPS FNP. So looking forward to the completion of the course. Thank you very much and good luck.
Ayan. So thank you so much, Dr. Bustos. Actually, Dr. Bustos is in the CHE External Review Workshop. That's why she cannot join us synchronously. Okay, so now let's go to the most recent program. So to share with us the details of the Master in Clinical Nutrition program, let us welcome the co-chair of the GPMC for MCN and the head of the Nutritional Sciences Division, Assistant Professor Aiza Bernardo.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ann. Good evening na kasi 7:14 na. Pa-thumbs up po sa ating lahat kung kayo ay nandyan pa. Okay, so I will be presenting, I have like 9 slides including the thank you slides for the Master in Clinical Nutrition. Okay, so just like what Sir Paul and Ma'am Angie have mentioned, I'll be going through the description of the course, the program outcomes, the curricular path, and of course, the admission policy. Okay, so let's now start with the brief description of the program. So MCN, or Master in Clinical Nutrition, is actually designed to enhance the professional qualifications of R&Ds to become clinical nutritionist and practice in the clinical setting. So the courses, lumipat yung slide. So the courses are focused on formulation of NCPs, okay, for various diet and lifestyle related diseases, following of course the NCP, which is a systematic approach and a global standard in clinical nutrition care. Okay, so as we know, the memo from the DOH that was in 2019, where dietitians in the hospital setting are required to follow the NCP in giving nutrition care for patients. And so MCN answers to that question, answers to that demand, so that the R&Ds can actually practice the use of NCP in your hospital institutions. Okay, so NCP mastery is a must, and it increases the efficiency and effectiveness in the provision of the care and will lead to greater recognition of our profession. Okay, so next slide, please. So what are the program outcomes of the MCN, which is specific to MCN? So a graduate of MCN should have the ability to, number 1, develop evidence-based clinical nutrition interventions for specific disease conditions, apply nutrition care in various disease conditions, collaborate with nutritionists, dietitians, and other healthcare professionals, demonstrate leadership and management skills in the delivery of institutional dietary services, and lastly, to advocate the ethical, clinical nutrition practices and services for the welfare of the population. So next slide, we'll be talking about the program structure. So to be able to achieve the degree program, We have several components of the MCN. We have core courses. You have to take 18 units of the core courses. We have, you need to take 9 units of electives, so 3 courses ito. And then part of the program structure will be the graduate seminar and special problem. And of course, as mentioned by Doc Lisel, after the coursework, you have to take the comprehensive exam. Okay, so talagang mastery is required. Okay, now for the curricular path. Okay, or shall we say plan of study? Although I cannot provide right now the plan of study kung ang entra ninyo ay nasa second semester. Kasi yung ngayon natin, second semester ang entra. So it's special case yun. Okay, pero kung papasok kayo ng nasa first sem, ito yung magiging curricular path ninyo. Okay, so 31 units ang total natin and it includes compre exam. So in the first year, first semester, you have to take MCN 201. Hindi lang siya ginawang prerequisite for other core courses, but it's a must that you first take 201 in your first semester. Okay, and then MCN 202, cardio diseases, MCN 203, cancer prevention and management, and you have an elective. Ang ating mga electives na pamimilian ay 206, 207, 208, 209, 224, or IHNF 224. But please take note, kung makita nyo dyan sa curricular path, we have the column semestral offering, 1, 2, and M, which means 1 is first semester, 2 is second semester, and M is mid-year. So take note of the availability of the course for each semester, kung sila ay offered dun sa semester na yon. So, kunyari, ngayong second sem, ang offered na elective is 208 and 209. Okay, in the coming semester, first sem, offered naman ang 206, 207, and IHNF 224. Okay, so your first year, first sem ay 12 units. And all of these courses, ang prerequisites natin ay COI. Okay, in your second semester, medyo heavy. Got talaga ito kasi 15 units. You have 3 major courses and 2 electives. So yung major courses natin dito is MCN 204, 205, kidney and diabetes mellitus respectively. We have MGT 231 or human behavior and organization. And then you have the 2 electives. And since tapos na ang coursework by that time, you'll take your oral compre exam. Okay? And ideally, nasa mid-year, no, yung ating UME 290 and what's the other one? UME 290 and UME 299. Okay, pero ang mangyayari dun sa entry natin, first batch natin, itong mid-year, instead na mid-year, magiging second, second semester, January of 2024. Itong inyong special problem and graduate seminar. And so, natapos nyo na at na-achieve nyo na yung degree program ng Master in Clinical Nutrition. Okay, so doon sa mga nagtatanong, paano po yung mga part-time na students, paano po ang plan of study nila? So I suggest that you contact your advisor para may one-on-one at individualized ang advice sa inyo. Okay? So next is the program requirements or ito yung admission policies natin. So you were accepted in the MCN degree program kasi kayo ay licensed nutritionist dietitian. So you were asked to submit a copy of your updated PRC license. And then so dapat RND, graduate ng BSN, BSND, and then pasado sa boards. Yung mga medical doctors natin o kaya yung mga non-nutrition professionals natin, they are eligible. However, they have to take the undergraduate courses for BSN, especially the MNT courses. Okay? And right now, medyo mahirap yung arrangement na yon. We have several requests from MDs, several emails and inquiries from MDs kung pwede sila. talagang bumabalik doon sa dapat siya ay RND-MD. Parang gano'n na ang nagiging requirement. And of course, may GWA requirement din tayo. For UP graduate, it's 2.5. For non-UP, it's 2.25. Kung hindi naabot yung GWA requirement, may case tayo na pumapasok siya sa probationary status. Okay? So next slide. Actually, yun lang for the overall, for the overview of MCN. And kung sino ang i-reach out ninyo sa inyong registration-related na mga concerns, plan of study concerns, etc. So ang ating chair for the Graduate Program Management Committee, laging default, ang ating director, Doc Amy Barion. I'm the co-chair, so most probably ako ang i-email ninyo. Okay, Aiza Bernardo, and then we have members Prof. Resi Bayna Mariano and Prof. Joan I. Delomen. Okay, and also please follow the IHNF FB page, GSUPLB FB page para lagi po kayong updated sa mga announcements. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Ma'am Ann.
Thank you po, Ma'am Bernardo. So, for the next part of our program, we actually invited Miss Grace Obedeza of the Human Resource Management of Department of Health to talk about the available DOH scholarships for the MCN program. But unfortunately, there were some technicalities in joining the Zoom meeting. So with that, the DOH scholarship team will instead arrange a separate orientation with the DOH scholars of MCN to discuss with you the scholarship entitlements and obligations. So please wait for their announcements regarding the orientation. Okay, so for the last part of our program, just to very briefly share with us the process of ethics application for your theses or dissertations, let us welcome the chair of the UPLB Research Ethics Committee, Dr. Marie Faye Nguyen Orca.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to request permission to share my screen.
Sir Genrev, can you please assist on that?
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I apologize, but I cannot switch on my camera this evening, but welcome. And so I just have a short discussion on the UPLB REB processes. So I am Marife Nguyen Orca. I'm the chair of the UPLB REB, but also a faculty of IHNF. Okay, so I guess it might be too early for you. No, you might think that it's too early for us to discuss the application for research ethics for your thesis and dissertation. But later on, you will realize why we added this in this particular program. So just a brief discussion. So of course, you know what research ethics is. So it's the standards for the conduct of research for scientific researchers. So research ethics, what you need to understand is you have to adhere to the ethical principles to protect the dignity, the rights, and the welfare of your participants. So in the ethical conduct of research, well, the UPLB or Research Ethics Board and other research ethics committee would check all these principles of the ethical conduct of research in your thesis and dissertation protocol. So social value, informed consent, vulnerability, risks, benefits, and safety, privacy and confidentiality of information, and justice. But of course, I'm not going to discuss all of this evening because I know that you are already hungry and want to want to eat your dinner. But this is for a different venue, but just for you to understand. And as graduate students, of course, you also have to have that due diligence on understanding this principle. So I have here the National Ethical Guidelines for Research Involving Human Participants. This was just published 2022, and recently they finalized the version. So you can just scan the code here to get a copy, no? And start reading, I guess, no, in order for your dissertation and thesis to be ethically sound. Okay, so I just want to present the timelines of all the regulations that somehow led to the requirement of UPLB graduate school to require you to undergo research ethics approval. Okay, so syempre I'm not going to um, discuss this one by one, no? So this, I think some of you know or have heard already that there is a memo last year, no? You have to submit your research protocols and proposals if your study involves human participants, no, for ethics review by the UPLB Research Ethics Board. So this is for all graduate students, no, um, who will have their research involving human participants. Okay, so for the main topic, no, so this is the UPLB Research Ethics Board. Hindi pa pala may isa pang slide. Ayan. So this is the UPLB Research Ethics Board, just for you to know our organizational structure. We are under the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension. And the UPLB Research Ethics Board is comprised of 3 independent review panels, Panel 1, Panel 2, and Panel 3. So usually, applied nutrition and PhD human nutrition students their studies fall under Panel 3. No, physical, biological, and engineering sciences. Okay, so this is now the research ethics review process. So first, you need to have your thesis and dissertation proposal approved by your guidance committee. No, then after that, then you can apply for the UPLB Rev approval. No, so after the approval, ayan, no, we're going to review, then we're going to approve your protocol. Then that is the only time that you can start your data collection. No, your recruitment and your data collection should not start unless you already have the approval of the UPLB Rev. So you have to keep that in mind when you plan your MS Applied Nutrition and PhD Human Nutrition course life, no? Ayan. So this is what happens during the review. No? So you submit your documents, then we screen it for completeness, we classify your protocol. So your protocol can be classified as a full panel review or expedited review. And sometimes if the risk is not that high, no, and there is no risk or there is less than minimal risk, then maybe your study may be exempt from review. So this is for meta-analysis and use of secondary data, but you still have to submit your protocol to the UPLB Rev, and the UPLB Rev will decide if your study is exempt from review already. So you're going to receive a certificate of exemption. Okay, so we're going to communicate the results of review, and most probably we're not going to issue the certificate of approval at once. No, we have some comments that you need to address, and then you're going to send it back, and then we're going to review the resubmitted protocol again. So just to dissect it a little further, so this is the expedited review process. So expedited review process, the target is 16 working days, and that would start upon the receipt of your acknowledgement letter. Now, so when you plan your dissertation, or when you plan your thesis, you have to take into consideration that this 16 working days is just for the initial review. This is the time of the UPLB Rev to review. But of course, you have to take into account also the revision, no, your part, no, how much time you're going to allot, no, for you to revise whatever comments the UPLB Rev will throw on you. And then another 16 working days for the review of the resubmission. Well, hopefully on your first resubmission, we are going to issue the certificate of approval. Now, if your study involves vulnerable groups, or your study poses more than minimal risk, then your study might be classified for full panel review. So for the full panel review process, that's 24 working days for one review period. No? So after that, we're going to send it back to you. You have to revise and answer the comments of the reviewer. Then you're going to send it back to the UPLB Reb, and you will count another 24 working days. No? Then you're going to submit the documents to the UPLB Research Ethics Board, care of the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, and you can email it to the UPLB Reb email. Okay? So hopefully, you're going to have your final report approved, no? And we're going to issue your ethical clearance. Ayan. So if you want to contact us, then you can contact us through the email rev.uplb@up.edu.ph. And we also have our website to know more about UPLB Reb. So we have their frequently asked questions. So you can visit the website in order to know more about how to apply and what to do. Is your research included or required to undergo the UPLB Reb review? And you can also like our Facebook page for more updates. And just this morning, I had a discussion with UPLB graduate students. So you can also wait for the recording if you have not attended the webinar this morning. You can also wait for the recording for a more detailed discussion on the UPLB Reb processes and the importance of conducting ethically sound research. So I guess the gist of this is to plan ahead, because it would take some time for you to get the Reb approval. So thank you so much and good evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Orca. So that's actually the last discussion for today. And yes po, Ma'am Tet.
Hello po, good evening. Several times po kasi, I just want to add po dun sa, reminder lang po. Several times po na mention yung tungkol sa probation. Tapos naka-require po doon na kailangan yung mag-request na ma-move po ang inyong probation. So please take this very seriously. Kasi hindi po yan automatic. Hindi po yan automatic. We had a recent student na hindi po siya na-approve yung kanyang request for removal or maalis po ang kanyang probationary status. So be very careful with this. Kung kayo po ay under probation, please make sure you follow all the requirements. You request for kasi may number of semester lang yan. I think 1 semester or 2 semesters you have to request na ma-remove na po ang inyong probationary status. So be very, very careful with that po kasi hindi siya automatic. It just so happens, so I want to share this. It's a very sad na kumbaga situation, pero ngayon din lang namin na-encounter. That's why we want this na i-share po sa inyo. So yun lang po, Ma'am Ann. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that reminder, Dr. Talavera. So we're now going to begin the open forum. Please feel free to use the raise hand function if you have any question or clarification, or chat them through the chat box. Okay, so do we have any questions? And our co-chair for the different GPMCs will be very willing to answer your questions. Siguro po while waiting, let's first answer the question sent earlier. So, Ma'am Lizelle, Ma'am Aiza, Ma'am Angie is not here, and Sir Paul. Pwede daw po bang, is it possible to change the thesis topic, or is it possible to choose a minor, a degree program, or a cognate outside UPLB? I think we have to speak in English straight, because we have an international student here in the presence of Miss Christine. Ayan.
Hi, Ma'am Anne. Yeah, I'd like to answer that question. Yes, it is possible. You just have to inquire with the graduate school about the requirements, no? Some students take their minor in UP Manila, some in UP Diliman.
So possible, ma'am. There is also a question, ma'am, if is it possible to get a committee member outside IHNF or UPLB?
Also, yes, to that question. Preferably, no, you get for minor or major? Major?
Committee member po
Uh, for,
ang
for cognate or minor, definitely outside IHNF. But for the major field, no, wherein you need to have at least two, no? 2 for masters and 3 for PhD, no? Yes, they can nominate somebody outside, but it has to be approved by the advisor, no? So if it is necessary, no, there are circumstances na it is allowed because, for example, um, the student will work on a topic or project which is part of a research project, wherein the principal investigator or the proponent is from a different department or college. So they can nominate the proponent to be part of the advisory or guidance committee. In that case, it will be allowed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. So the minimum is 2 committee members for
Coming from the IHNF, no, for MS, and 3 for PhD.
Ma'am, how about for the maximum number? Is there a maximum number of committee members for each program?
Yes, for PhD, maximum is 5, including the co-chair and the chair already, no? For masters, and MPS, it's na-mention ko kanina, I think it's 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 3 to 4. So maximum of 4. Tama ba, Sir Paul? For master's level, let me check my
Yes, ma'am. 4
slides.
for MS.
4 for
Five.
MS and 5 for PhD.
Okay, ma'am.
The graduate school din naman, Ma'am Ann, will call your attention in case you
Yes.
submitted more than the number required. So the college secretary's office of the graduate school will call your attention together with the advisor to correct the POS or plan of study and select because we have a maximum number only. I think Dr. Talavera was raising her hand earlier. Let
Yes,
us
ma'am.
Yes,
Opo.
ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am Amy. Just want to emphasize po, ang chair ng inyong committee ay dapat manggaling sa IHNF. Must po yan. So, hindi po pwedeng sa iba. Ang cognate niyo po sa ibang units o kaya sa ibang UP, constituents, or even sa DOST. Pero ang inyong pong advisor or chair dapat po sa IHNF. A reminder lang po yun. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am Ann, may I also add, no, as much as we also, it's allowed to have additional member outside UPLB or IHNF, please also inform us beforehand because we will be applying. We need to have documents, especially if it's from outside the unit, outside university. For instance, we have to get their CV and other information because we have to submit this to the graduate school and apply the person as either adjunct or affiliate. Tama ba, Ma'am Tet? Adjunct or affiliate. And it takes some
Yes,
time.
ma'am.
It takes some time, Ma'am Ann. It's not immediate or it's not automatic. So, but most probably it will be approved, but it will take some time. So if you're planning to include your, let's say, your employer from FNRI, from NNC, or from your laboratory, your office, kindly inform your committee beforehand so that we can immediately arrange for the documents that needs to be submitted to the graduate school and to the UPLB. Yes, Ma'am Ted?
If I may add po, Ma'am Amy, kung PhD student, if you're a PhD student, dapat ang member ng committee nyo na kukunin nyo outside of UPLB should also be PhD. So pag MS kayo, the minimum din dapat MS din graduate or PhD.
Yes.
So hindi po basta-basta kung sino ang pwedeng kunin just because kunwari galing siya sa
Lawyer.
isang magandang opisina, meron pong requirement na kailangan sundin.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you po.
Ma'am. Thank you so much po, Ma'am Tet and Ma'am Barion, for your reminders, and also for Ma'am Lizelle for the answers earlier. So there is another question from Miss Ira Resho. Let me read it. I kindly ask about the difference between the final exam and comprehensive exam, or is it the same? In Dr. Atienza's presentation, we are to take the final exam. From Dr. Bustos, it is a comprehensive exam. Thank you. I think it differs per program, but maybe Ma'am Lizelle can clarify more on this. Ma'am Lizelle?
Yes, Ma'am Ann, it depends on the program. So
Yes.
normally for masters, we have the final exam for the presentation of the defense of the thesis. And for MPS, it's a comprehensive exam.
Yeah. So I hope that clarifies your question, Miss Ira. Are there any more clarifications or questions that you would like to ask for your degree programs?
Ma'am, let me emphasize while they are still thinking for their make sure that you aim high, high grade. How high is high? Make sure it's safe is actually 1.25, 1.5. As much as possible, do not get or do not do not simply accept a grade of 2. Aim higher than 2, higher than 1.75, no? So that we'll have no problem with regards to grade computation, especially for those under probationary status. So make sure that your grades are really high. And how high is high? It's actually 1.25, 1.5. You're safe already. So do not be complacent in accepting a grade of 2 or 2.25, or because a graduate student grade of 3 is actually equivalent to 2 if you're a graduate student. So 2 is merely passing. Am I correct, Ma'am Ann? Diba? For a graduate student, 2 is actually equivalent to 3, or that's a simple passing grade. So that's one thing that I would like to really emphasize among graduate students. So make sure that you get a grade higher than 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am.
Thank you po, Ma'am Amy. So maybe our MCN students are also wondering, do they need to have to conduct a final exam or to undergo a comprehensive exam? Yes po, Ma'am Lizelle.
Yes, they have a comprehensive examination which will be done orally. Ayan, oral comprehensive exam. Nag-raise ako ng hand just to remind our MCN students that we have already identify their mga advisors. So, hindi na kailangan mag-select pa from the list. Kami ang magpo-provide ng list to them. Oo. Ma'am Aiza, I think will send the list to them, no, via email.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, MCN students, please wait for the email of Ma'am Aiza to know your advisors. Okay? So any more questions? I
Ay,
think,
It's all naman. It's already
oh
7,
yes,
almost 8
I
o'clock.
think that's it, ma'am. So thank you so much for joining us today. So to know more details about IHNF, again, please feel free to visit our website, www.ihnf.uplb.edu.ph. And also, Sir Genrev is also posting other contact details that you can see it on the screen right now. So if ever you have questions or clarifications, please do not hesitate to contact us. And also a reminder to accomplish your student directory. So before we officially end our program, can we please open our cameras for a quick photo opportunity or photo documentation? Okay, so our tech team will help us capture. All right. So let's smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, are still opening their cameras. All right, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, wacky. One formal and one wacky. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. So thank you so much. And that ends our program today. Again, on behalf of IHNF, we again thank you for joining us and staying with us until this time. So if you have more time, please stay for the singing of the UP Naming Ma. Thank you so much.